Hey everyone, welcome to another live Cinema Relics live. We are here today. It's a very special episode. We're actually doing something for the first time. But before we dive into that, I just want to remind everyone we have a new episode last week that released. It's our Men in Black Worms episode. Check it out. It's a really good one. We got our puppeteer friend Greg Ballora, who worked on Men in Black 2 and was one of the voices as well as one of the puppeteers of the Worm guys. Great stuff. Check it out. So today is a very special day for us and for, believe it or not, Wes Anderson. Wes Anderson right now is at the Wes Anderson The Archives exhibit that is opening in London this week. And our very own Martin Minier is there on location checking it out with some really interesting information that you guys are going to dig. Hey, Martin, how you doing?
Hey, Dan, how are you?
Good. So you are in London right now, aren't you?
In London at the Wes Anderson exhibit, which is at the Design Museum. And then tonight was the big opening for, so Wes was here, a lot of the cast, most of the crew members, storyboarders, artists, a lot of the puppet makers, and of course we have one of the guests of honors, the Jaguar shark. And he's proudly displayed up here with all of the costumes and a number of other puppets. And which is really interesting right now is it's displayed with the mounts that we used on the production to move it. So these rods you can see above it were motion control rods, and each was connected to a section of his body so they can move sideways, which made the shark undulate and move through the water. And then the animators would animate the mouth, the eyes, and all of the fins separately by hand. So this is one of the largest stop motion puppets ever made. It weighs over 250 pounds. And we did it to that scale because there's a motion control camera that went under its belly. And we shot it upside down. So we needed that depth of field to make it that big. Now, personally, Martin, I never wanted to make it this big, but it ended up, the director of photography said, no, it's got to be this big. So there it is. There's our shark.
Martin, you worked on The Life Aquatic. You worked for Wes Anderson through Henry Selick, right? Henry Selick actually was the director of the animated portion of the film, the stop-motion animated portion of the film.
Henry Selick was the director of all the animations. So I was hired to build the puppets by Henry Selick, and Henry Selick directed all of the animated sequences.
And then you built these at ILM, right? The old ILM building.
What happened is that we were going to shoot at the Kerner Optical Studios, which was the old ILM studios where they shot Star Wars and Hunt for Red October and all these films, and we needed a facility nearby to build the models. And at that point, the model shop didn't have any work, so we rented out the Industrial Light and Magic model shop. So we had the entire run of the model shop, which was amazing, which is quite large, and then we were surrounded by models from 30 years of Industrial Light and Magic. So it was awe-inspiring to see all these models around us while we were working on The Life Aquatic. It was an honor.
Why don't you take us through some of the pieces that you built that are on display there?
No, of course. So as you've seen, the Jaguar shark, that's right here. And then we have quite a few puppets here. And we can start with this one. This was the Hennessy Research Turtle. So there's a point where the crew is inside the sub, diving with the sub, and you see all these creatures come by, and this is Jeff Goldblum's sea turtle, and at that point he believes that they're all been killed, but there's one left. And it had a little light on its head, and it had a little torpedo device on its back. So that was, we never knew what that torpedo design was for, but there it is. Next is what we called the rhinestone tuna. This was the bait for the Jaguar shark in that sequence. So it was being dragged by the sub. And if you look at its eyeball, it's got a little cross across the eyeball to indicate that it's dead. And each creature was kind of fashioned after a pattern. So this was rhinestone, there was paisley, there was stripes, so it was all textural. Next to it is the Hibernicus, I think. Well, basically this creature is in the lab, in Jeff Goldblum's lab, and these tentacles in the back, they unfold, and this whole creature is another stop motion puppet inside of this one. So it folds on itself and unfolds on itself. So that was a really complicated puppet to build because we had to make 2 puppets at once.
That's cool.
This was a hummingbird fish. So there's a sequence, the same sequence where there's a descent in the sub, and you see these little guys. They have these little tongues, and their wings are beating like hummingbirds, and they're sipping the nectars of flowers.
Wow.
This one right here was the sugar crab. So there's a scene where Bill Murray talks about the sugar crabs are back, and they go on the beach, and you see this one sugar crab, another one that's red, and a little baby. And I think the red one fights this one and rips one of his arms off. It was just a simple little scene. That's a sugar crab. Then here we have the yawning lizard. And at one point, Bill Murray looks at his hand, and there's a tiny little lizard on his hand, and it looks at him and it yawns. So we made this little guy with an open mouth and a little tongue, and the tongue unfurls. And then Bill Murray swaps it with his finger, and at that point it was replaced in the live action by a little yellow lizard model that we put on his hand. This was the most complex puppet. This was a scene where they're inside a crashed airplane and underwater, and this pufferfish comes in and looks at the black box that has this red light on it. And this had a bicycle pump behind it, so this whole thing inflated. And all of these little spines would raise as it inflated. We made these little spines the same way a real pufferfish had spines, so that when it blew up, the spines would raise with it.
And did you actually blow it up with air?
The animators had a bicycle pump. Go ahead, Dan.
So you actually blew it up with a bicycle pump?
Yeah, with a bicycle pump. And then here is a model that I didn't work on, but this was done by the Italian crew, and this is the submarine Jacqueline from the miniature shot. And at that point, this is the sub where it had the rhinestone tuna trailing behind it. And they also made a full-size version of this sub for the exterior that's on the ship.
That's right. So what's interesting about this exhibition is this is the second location for this exhibition. The first time they had it in Paris at the LA Cinémathèque, France, but it was only about half the size. This exhibition is twice as big. It's huge.
It's massive.
I visited the Cinémathèque in Paris when I was considering loaning a few pieces to the exhibition, which you just showed. So the sub-miniature and jaguar shark are from the Cinema Relics collection. So we're very
Do you want us to walk you through the exhibit?
So basically the exhibit covers all of the films of Wes Anderson, and it's quite a accomplishment, I think.
It's massive, and it's beautiful, and it's all in chronological order. So before this exhibit was the Darjeeling Limited, the Royal Tenenbaum, and Rushmore, and Bottle Rocket.
Right.
No, this is the Darjeeling Limited, but it's most impressive as we go further and we start seeing some of the stop motion puppets, because those are absolutely extraordinary. Now we're coming on to
Fantastic Mr. Fox,
Fantastic
Isle
Mr.
of Dogs,
Fox,
and so
Isle of
forth
Dogs.
and so on. Yeah.
I mean, they are stunning, and the last section of it is Asteroid City, which is also just stunning.
Right.
And this is Moonrise Kingdom. All right. And here's the Fantastic Mr. Fox. And these were built, I think, at 3 Mill Studio, and
Wow.
Andy Gent was the puppet maker on these.
So what's interesting, they seem to have the same display as they did when they were on display in Paris. There is a fine mesh separating the puppets from the visitors. It's not a plastic plexi case. So it photographs a little difficultly, but it keeps reflections happening. So it actually is in person, it's a really interesting way to display pieces.
You know, I didn't even notice.
The closer you shoot
I'm looking
to the
at
screen,
it now.
the more you see the mesh. So pull back, if you can pull back more.
Yeah, it's incredible. I thought it was glass, and you're right, it's not.
Yeah, but those puppets are amazing. Those are McKinnon and Saunders puppets, right?
Yeah, McKinnon and Saunders puppets, and this is the Isle of Dogs. And there's a beautiful set also.
No, this
behind
is
us
still
here.
Fantastic Mr. Fox, I think.
Yes, that's still Fantastic Mr. Fox.
Oh,
and here's Isle of Dogs.
Yes. Now, you didn't work on those films, but a lot of the same people that worked on those films. Oh wow, look at that close-up of the dog's mouth. That's amazing.
And there's a dog armature also right here. And you can see the different scales of dogs they did. I mean, this is really hard work when you have to create fur. It's so difficult. And here's a lineup of puppets.
Wow.
And all of these have the replacement animation mouth and faces. That's the same technology that we developed at Leica on Coraline.
That's right.
And here are the dogs. And they were done the same way the Fantastic Mr. Fox was done with, hair applied by hand.
And hinged mouths, right? They actually open and close.
Yes. Mouth open, close, ears that move. And this is Grand Budapest Hotel. And this is the first model that Simon Weiss, who's done a lot of the models for Wes, this is the first model that he worked on for Wes. And since then...
Wow, I think we may have lost the connection. Yeah, I think we have. We have you back. Okay, we lost you there for a second.
Oh yeah, I was just mentioning the model. This model was done by Simon Weiss, who was a French model maker. This was his first movie with Wes, and since that time, he's done every single movie with Wes.
Beautiful work. Beautiful work.
Beautiful work, yeah.
Massive model.
It's massive. And there's a really impressive display here for the French Dispatch.
Can you guys stop moving?
Yeah.
I think they're losing Wi-Fi as they go to different
Right.
stations.
Right. No, there's only one place that they lost Wi-Fi.
Okay.
So it's okay. You guys can keep moving around a little bit.
Okay. So we're gonna show you the asteroid city. This is really beautiful. There's a lot of models there.
Oh yeah. Like the alien
And all these
model is
miniatures are
super
really
cool.
gorgeous right here.
Wow. Spectacular.
No, it's spectacular. Look at this large train model. It's also really beautiful.
Gorgeous. Look at that. Quite large scale too.
Oh yeah, it's massive.
Go show the
massive,
alien
but-
models over on to the left.
Yeah. That's the alien model. And look at the beautiful painting above.
Yeah. Look at that. So that is a marionette, isn't it?
I'm not sure. But it's gorgeous. The detail on it is beautiful too. It's just so... And you can look at the feet.
Yeah, look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful piece.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
And that's
Let me see what
a
it
stop
says.
motion model as well.
It's a... you have a stop motion, yes. It's stop motion puppet.
Beautiful stuff. Well, Martin,
You can see the joints. Look, you can see the joints in the hand, the little ball joints in the hands and the feet.
yeah. So, Martin, how long does this exhibition go to? Do you know?
6 months here
months? Okay.
in London, and then,
And then
I
it
think
travels, although we don't know where it
travels.
to. I don't think we
Yeah.
have any information on that.
Norway.
Oh,
Norway next. Yeah. I think
Wow.
it will end up in the U.S. right in a year or a few years. I hope.
Norway's, Italy, and then Japan.
Oh, so Norway, Italy, and then Japan.
Wow.
But it's
Great.
fantastic. It's like you could spend hours. You could spend a full day here looking at all of the
I'm
detail.
sure.
It's
Very
really
cool.
and
Well,
I
Martin,
mean, it's cool. The costumes.
I think we're good.
All right.
Martin, really appreciate you taking us through and giving us a sneak peek at the exhibition. Any prop lovers, any film lovers, any Wes Anderson fans, you need to check this out. It is awesome. I wish I was there, but I couldn't go, so I've got my intrepid model maker on tour with the exhibition. He'll be put in a plexi case and displayed for the next 6 months in London. You didn't know that, did you, Martin?
No, I didn't. Well, I'm glad. I can spend 6 months here. Look, then you have a 10 megaton nuclear warhead right here.
Oh my! Well, speaking of
Caution.
warheads, we got some bombs to show you. Literally prop bombs here in the studio.
Was that the Abyss?
Yeah, we have a nuclear bomb from the Abyss,
I recognize it.
and a neck bomb from the Running Man. So
Very cool.
one last thing I want to talk about is do you remember when I acquired the shark?
Yes.
So I got the shark from the Disney Archives, which was a piece that they had held, and for whatever reason, it was on a list of pieces that they were willing to trade out to acquire the Mary Poppins bag, which was something that was very high on their list. We did an episode of Prop Culture where we talked about Mary Poppins and specifically about the carpet bag. We're going to roll some footage from Prop Culture now. But while you watch that, hold off, Martin, because I'm going to see if anybody has any questions for Martin about Martin or about the exhibition. We're going to play the piece from Prop Culture and we'll be right back to do some questions with Martin.
From Mary Poppins. Down here.
Oh my gosh, yes. Yes.
Wow.
Do you know what that is?
Yes.
Okay.
It's a carpet bag.
It is a carpet bag.
Not a carpet bag.
The carpet bag.
Never judge things by their appearance. Even carpet bags. I'm sure I never do. A thing of beauty is a joy forever.
And it's thanks to this guy right here.
Yes, well, me and a few other fellows, but
What are you talking about?
They helped us acquire it.
helped them acquire it, yeah.
Yeah.
Where was it?
Well, believe it or not, it all started with the sweepstakes. Way back in 1964, Kraft Chocolates did a promotional giveaway on the heels of the release of Mary Poppins. Third prize was an 8mm camera. Second prize, a portable TV. And first prize, the Mary Poppins carpet bag with 10 grand stuffed inside. As it turns out, the lucky winner just wanted the cash. So the guy from the ad company who delivered the bag wound up taking it home, where it sat in his attic, gathering dust for the next 40 years. Until one day, it was properly identified, and through a series of events and various people, including yours truly, it found its way home to the Disney Archives.
This is an example of not only her magic, but Disney's magic to accomplish that shot
Right.
in a way that is totally convincing.
Absolutely.
It's not a prop, it's history.
It
It's-
is.
Yeah.
It's my childhood. It
exactly what
represents
it is.
so much of my love for Disney.
Absolutely. Thank you for helping me bring it home.
Oh, wow. It was an honor.
There's a from Mary.
All right, we're back. So, Martin, what
Go ahead.
what's your favorite piece there at the exhibition? Does anything
Sorry,
stand
say that
out?
again?
Your favorite piece? Is there a piece that you were surprised to see that you really
Oh,
thought
my
was
favorite
amazing?
piece in the
Yeah.
exhibit, it's some of the Rushmore costumes. I will show you.
Okay. Now,
Simply because-
while you're taking me over there, hold on a second. While you're taking me over there, I heard Wes Anderson was there tonight.
Oh, he was there. Wes Anderson was there. Ben Kingsley was there. Also, Tilda Swinton was there.
Wow.
Fisher Stevens was there.
That's cool.
Denny Harrison. There was a few celebrities. This is some of my favorite pieces. That the painting from Rushmore with Bill Murray
Look
and
at
his
that.
twins, the evil redhead twins. I think it's such a fantastic painting. And look, there's the suits.
Yeah, with the hat.
Yeah.
So, Jason, who is with you, our producer, mentioned to me that when Wes was talking, he actually called out your name. He actually mentioned you. What was it like hearing that from
Oh,
the
it was
man
great.
himself?
I had it on video, and then afterwards I went up to him and I thanked him for pronouncing my name correctly. So he was like, "Oh yeah, I wanted to say it the right way because I know you're French, and I didn't want to say Martin. I wanted to say Martin in French." So it was really sweet.
That's cool. That's cool.
And I also told him the Harryhausen story from The Life Aquatic, when I brought Harryhausen to see the jaguar shark, because Ray Harryhausen, who's one of the greatest stop motion animators
Of all
and
time.
puppet builders,
Yeah.
he told Ray Harryhausen told me that the jaguar that he built the biggest stop motion puppet, and I told him, I don't think so. I think we did when we built the jaguar shark. And so I brought him to see it, and he looked at me and he said, "You're insane! It is the biggest stop motion puppet ever." I was really pleased about that. And when he left, and when everybody was saying goodbye, he rolled down the car of his window, leaned out of the window, raised his fist, and said, "Viva stop motion!" And I was like, wow. This was
Surreal,
the cherry on top of the cake for me for working on Life Aquatic. Having Harryhausen look at me and said, "Viva stop motion!" I was like, this is one of the proudest moments of my life.
That's awesome.
So I told that story to Wes. He didn't know, so he laughed.
That's great.
But
That's great.
the show is great. So anybody who has a chance to come and see it, it definitely it's a must. There's so many details, so many pieces of paper. There's a script over there that's really fun. It's script from one of his plays. So there's so much detail and everything.
Yeah. Well, and he's a saver, right? He's definitely kept most of this stuff. I mean, honestly, the only
Yes.
reason I wound up with the shark and the sub was because the Disney Archives got it as part of their deal.
Yeah,
And
yeah. But he's kept
otherwise, Wes would have kept it.
probably, but he's kept also very small pieces. And look at the attention to detail. There's every letter in the movie that he reads. The letter was really, written. There's book covers. There's every little part of that world.
I don't think there's
has been
many
represented.
directors that are more have attention to detail than Wes Anderson does.
Yeah, for
He
sure.
is- he
I
is
mean, and
soup to nuts. He knows exactly what he's making, and it's his way.
I mean,
and it shows.
painting
in his work.
everything is painted by oil. There's a real oil paintings. Every piece of artwork in the show is real. I was looking at some of the paintings in the background of the puppets from Fantastic Mr. Fox, and they're miniature oil paintings. So they're not photocopies. They're really miniature oil paintings.
Amazing. All right, Martin. Thanks a lot for checking it out. Go have a few drinks with Jason and have some fun. All right.
We're invited
Hobnob.
to the after hour party, so we're gonna go.
Well, have fun. Thanks a
All
lot.
right, thank you, Dan.
Tell Jason thanks.
I will do.
All right. Later, buddy. Bye.
Bye.
All right. Well, that seems like the place to be tonight. That was really cool. I'm very, very excited about that. Next week, let's jump into what we're doing next week, or this weekend. We're releasing a new episode of Cinema Relics Investigates. It is surrounding the Rock, the film The Rock, and it's the VX gas rocket. It's a really interesting piece for us because I've owned it for well over 10 years and I've never taken it out of the crates and put it together. So this will be the first time, probably the last time that I do that. And check it out. It's going to be a great episode. And we'll see if we can figure out if it was used in the film. All right, moving on. The next piece that I want to talk about, or the next segment we want to do, is this particular piece over here. I believe we have camera. Is it already on there, Carson?
Going to it.
Okay, yeah, so give us a second. We're going to go to it right now. I'll shift it over a little bit. This is one of 8 fake, we clearly say fake, nuclear weapon, nuclear nose cones from the USS Montana, the ship that goes down in the Abyss, that the whole kind of crux of the film is surrounded to get, the drama that happens eventually when Michael Biehn's character loses his mind because of, what is it called? There's a specific term for that.
High pressure nervous system.
High pressure nervous system syndrome. High pressure nervous syndrome. This is one of the pieces that they built for the film. The cone itself is made of fiberglass and wood. The base is made of aluminum. It is one of the versions, and I don't know, maybe all of them had this, where the bottom's unscrewed. We have not been able to screen match this yet, although we have some possibilities in the film.
Yeah.
Caleb thinks maybe it was the one that's being dragged by the geek, is it? He's driving around the sub?
The sub.
Right, but we're still...
Hanging under it.
Yeah, it's hanging under it, right. So it's super cool. It's weird, like, who wants a fake nuclear weapon in their collection? Well, this guy, I guess. I think it's a neat piece from an amazing film. There isn't that much stuff that's out there from the Abyss. We have a couple helmets and this, and that's about it. There are some miniatures out there that have sold. Those all been very amazing pieces, but I think those belong in a museum like we see with Wes Anderson's miniatures. But this piece is really cool because the bottom is designed to come apart, and it's been damaged over the years, so you can actually take it off and look inside. There's Bondo in there. It smells of old carbon fiber. And then this is interesting. This base is machined aluminum. The screws are out of steel or probably iron, so they're rusting, but the aluminum isn't. If you look inside, here's the screw attachment, so they could have pulled out the pin device, the fusion device that was inside it, that you could disarm these things. So not sure if this is one of those, one of the ones that you see on screen, but it is marked number 2 in both pen and inscribed into the metal. It's super cool. It's super cool. I love that film. I think anybody who sees The Abyss and loves science fiction will realize it's a true testament of what Jim Cameron was able to pull off. I personally think it's a better film than anything else he's done, but he's done some amazing things over the years. Where was I going to go with this? The next piece that I want to show off in our explosive episode, leading up to our rock episode about the VX nerve gas rocket launcher, is this little piece celebrating the new episode, the new movie, The Running Man. I haven't seen it yet. Carson saw it last night, right? Thumbs up or thumbs down?
Thumbs up for me.
Okay, you liked it, huh? That's cool. I love the one with Arnold, and this particular piece is worn by a bunch of the prisoners in the beginning of the film. They have these neck bombs that are on sensors, so if they go past the electric fence, this doesn't give them a shock, it blows off their head. A very novel, crazy idea. Built very simply for the film. It's basically just plastic tubing with some glow sticks stuck inside, which are still in there, some AA or AAA batteries, which I guess you could say kind of may simulate some of the explosives. Those batteries actually ran to the LEDs in the front, and it's just a simple machined buckle that's put on a old school plastic buckle that's hidden inside. Very simple piece with a little switch on the side that would have worked back in the day. It doesn't now, but just super cool. Certainly would not want to wear it, although I'm curious how big it is. Let's see. Oh boy.
Don't get stuck on it.
No, I'm not going to snap it. I'm afraid I won't be able to get it off. But yeah, it's
There's only one way to get that on.
yeah, that's right. Boom. I'm sure some collectors out there would wish that would happen with me wearing this. Yeah, so it's cool, you know. The Running Man is kind of the first really solid attempt at looking at how reality television kind of changed the landscape of entertainment. We still haven't done an actual Running Man show for real, but we've done some pretty close things to it. I mean, they've done things like Naked and Afraid and Naked Dating, a lot of really extreme stuff done for reality. You know, pretty soon they're going to decide they're going to have to do corporal punishment on this thing, and I think that's when we also just lose our minds. But as a film, I think it's super cool, and Arnold, I think, did a great job. I am looking forward to seeing the new one, and I've heard mixed things, but it's good to hear that you liked it. The third act I heard was so-so. Does it kind of lose it a little bit?
A little bit.
A little bit?
But
Okay.
I thought it was fine.
All right, so moving on.
John's Brock.
Oh, yes, that's right. Thank you, Martin. Martin, thank you, Martin. Can you hear me in London? No, thank you, Caleb. Yes, John Zabrucki, the famous prop maker. This is one of his pieces that he built, and hopefully we get to talk to him again. I'd love to ask him about this piece and how this came about. Was this something that he was shared before the film was going to be done so that he could have the pieces ready and then lend them to production or rent them to production, or was this something he was contracted out specifically to build? That is an interesting part of this industry, and I'm curious how he handled it. All right, last thing we're going to do today is we're going to do mail time. Carson, could you come on over here and throw out some questions and we'll answer some of this stuff?
Yes, I can.
Thank you, sir. All right.
Okay.
What do you got?
We got Alexander Lund asked if there's a prop or costume that you know of, whether it's in your collection or not, probably not in your collection, that you feel needs more love and attention.
Do you mean public attention or like restoration attention? Like, curious what.
I don't know. Give us both answers.
There are pieces in my collection that need some additional restoration. It's difficult to get everything done proper. Sometimes it's better to hold off and wait till you get the right restorer to do it. And it's expensive. It's very expensive to do that. But there's nothing in my collection that is deteriorating at the current moment and getting worse. But there are pieces that need to get repaired. Can you, what would you think the top one off your top of your head
That we have here.
that we have that
You
needs
talked
work?
about the Legend costume.
Yeah, we have Darkness's costume from Legend, and the pants are losing some of. The pants have all these sequins on it, and a bunch of them have come off because just old threads. So those are pieces that we've collected and we need to get sewn back on. That's not a traditional restoration, but it is, I guess, would fall under that. Oh, and we have we have the Rob Bottin, Chris Wallace. Sorry, geez, they're very different people. Chris Wallace's Dragon Slayer, a hero puppet head that was hand puppeteer but also animatronic. We picked that up from the director, Matthew Robbins. He had that in his collection for many years, and it was in storage. He forgot he had it, and it got some rat damage. Rats or mice were chewing on it. We're not sure if it was rats or mice. So we've had it now for about a year, and we're slowly having Martin do some restoration on it. We're actually going to be doing a Cinema Relics Investigates on that with Martin, showing the process of where it started from and where Martin is going to end up with it. It's still in the process, but it's an awesome piece, and as great as that movie is and the dragon in that movie, I think that close-up head was fantastic and it really made the dragon come alive. Yeah. And as far as out there, what are pieces in our collection that need more attention? I mean, I don't know. There's a lot. We'll mark that one. We'll answer that next time around. I want to think about that one.
Okay.
Next question.
Alexander Lund also asked, what's your favorite movie that's one of those movies that's so bad that it's good?
I would say that would be Strange Brew with
Brew.
Dave Thomas and Rick Moranis.
And you actually talked to Rick Moranis about that.
I did. Well, I talked to Rick Moranis when I was when I was hosting Prop Culture, and we spent like 20 minutes talking about that film. Didn't really get into the episode much, but it was awesome.
What are Rick's thoughts on Strange Brew?
I think he loved it. I think it was, him and Dave got to direct it, and that was their concept, it was their idea. So it's a film that I think he holds near and dear to his heart. I'd love to talk to Dave at some point about that movie as well. I actually asked him about props and costumes, and he's like, I have no idea what happened to all that stuff. So if anybody knows where stuff from Strange Brew is, I'm sure it's long gone, been worn by people as regular clothing, but I'd love to hear about it.
Awesome. Chiliana Jones asked,
Chiliana, that's fun.
Since it's the 30th anniversary of GoldenEye, do you have any props from that film?
I don't. I actually used to have one of the Hero Walther PPKs that Pierce Brosnan used, and I had not only the Hero, it was a live fire. It wasn't anymore. It had been modified because it came from the UK, so they decommissioned it. But it was a live fire. It had the silencer on it, and it had the holster. It was super cool. But ultimately, I wound up selling it because it just wasn't fitting into the collection buckets that I was trying to put together. But it was a hard one to sell. It's a great film, and to this day, I always loved GoldenEye, even though it hasn't aged as well as some of the other Bonds, but it's still one of those near and dear to my heart.
He also asked if you would ever do a collaboration with Prop Store to do research on and talk about pieces they have in upcoming auctions.
I would. I don't know if I would want to do. I don't think I'd want to do a traditional promotion of them, but if they had pieces they wanted to have profiled and were willing to accept our results, and generally their people are some of the best researchers in the business, so I doubt that we'd be finding anything out that they didn't know. But I would be happy to do that. Absolutely. I mean, I know Stephen very well. Stephen Lane and Brandon Allinger and Tim Laws. I've known those guys forever. But they got a pretty well-oiled machine there. But yeah, if they wanted to, sure, why not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Someone said that they loved the Worm Guys episode and was wondering if there was any restoration done on either of the two puppets.
Yes, there was, but it was very minor. Both of those worm guys were in. They were the kind of the best pick of the bunch that Rick still had when he was looking to do his auction. I worked with Prop Store to help bring that auction together back in the day. It was the initial auction was with profiles and history, and then Rick wasn't necessarily happy with how they handled that. I don't know the details, but ultimately Prop Store had an opportunity, so I went with them and we worked out a deal with Rick, and that's where that big auction that they did came together. And I was able to purchase a few pieces from my own collection, and I picked those two Worm Guys myself, and they had a little bit of work on the elbows, a little bit of work on the knees, just very minor stuff, and an invisible seal coat on the whole piece so that they wouldn't deteriorate any further. Because obviously Rick didn't do that with this stuff because he wasn't thinking about archiving when he made the movie, and then he had to put pieces away and move on to the next film.
Mm-hmm.
So,
do you put that seal coat on all of your foam latex pieces to prevent them from deteriorating?
Depends on what it is, when it was made. If I'm having a little bit of work done on it, usually I will have a seal coat put on it because that's showing me that there's already deterioration happening, but I won't just put it on just to put it on unless I see that there's a need for it. I don't want to modify something unless I feel like it needs it. And if it is being done, it needs to be done so that you cannot tell that it's been done. Like, I don't want to see any additional glossiness to it, or if it's something that's glossy, I don't want it to be matte anymore. It has to be the right finish, it has to be invisible so that it doesn't affect the piece.
Awesome.
And Tom Spina did the restoration on those pieces, and Tom and his crew, they do fantastic work. Fantastic work.
And then what's your best advice for keeping things like foam latex from deteriorating further?
Keep it protected from UV and sunlight. Sometimes, depending on the type of foam latex, you might want to put it in a case. I generally don't do that, but keeping it protect from UV, and then if it's
control.
What?
Humidity control.
Yes, thank you. Humidity control. You don't want too much humidity. You don't want too little humidity. You want it to dry out. You also don't want it to become too saturated. Just right there in the middle in the sweet spot. But yeah, that's pretty much it. You protect it from sunlight. Now, sometimes I've mentioned this in the past. I've learned that foam latex that is when it's made and it's initially whipped up and put into the molds, they have to have certain proper humidity when that's done, and it has to have the right air pressure and all that stuff. This is crazy how important. There's so many different details to make proper, really good foam latex. If when it comes out of the mold and it's not scrubbed, there's this residue of sulfur as part of the curing process that comes out onto the skin. If that sulfur is not cleaned off completely, I'm told that will cause the foam latex to start to deteriorate much quicker. Foam latex that had been cleaned after being pulled out of the mold can still be supple years later if it's like 20 years later, which you wouldn't think is possible if you're in the industry. Certain people that would do their foam latex, their stuff would always last longer. And you wouldn't know that at the time, but because they just took care an extra step of cleaning of the foam pieces before they got painted. So there it is. And there's no way to really know unless somebody specifically worked on that specific piece and they use that process to clean it. So it's luck of the draw for the most part.
And then the last question is from Jason Baffa, who asked if we make our producer Jason wear the Running Man collar in the office.
So Jason Baffa, hey Jason, thanks for watching. Jason is a friend of our company, and Jason is a DP, a fairly well-known surfing photographer and movie director, specific for surfing films. His stuff is great. Jason has done some of our interviews that we're working on a documentary right now, which we really can't talk about right now. But Jason's doing some DP work for us, and he's great. Jason Henry, the other Jason, who is now with Martin in London at the Wes Anderson exhibit, does not wear this. He does have a collar with a dog tags on it that he does have to wear in the office. But not. I wouldn't put a prop one on him. It's not fair to the prop.
Right. Cool. Well, that's all the questions that we have.
All right. Well, thanks everyone. Check out our episode this Saturday on 7 a.m. Central on the VX Nerve Gas rocket launcher and rocket from the movie The Rock. It's cool. It's a good one. All right. Talk to you later.